Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to continue our next.js and Tailwind CSS series, and this is episode 6. In this episode we'll implement a custom slider using Swiper library, and we will have some custom navigation button for it. Let's check a simple demo of it. And this is it. So you can see that here on the left sidebar I have this slider, and if I come here I have this slider, and by clicking the mouse I can simply slide them. And also I have two different buttons of prep and next, and it will work, and you can see that it is sliding correctly. I'm using some background to show you that this is the space of the every slide. And let's check the responsive size of it. So here you can see that I have just one slide and it is completely responsive, and the slides would change based on the size of your screen. So I have 4 slides, 3, 2 and 1. So this is a simple demo of it, and let's go. Let's go and implement all of the coding of this episode. As always, let's start by cloning our repository. So I will copy this address from here and go to my computer, and let's open a new command prompt here and git clone this address. That's it. Then cd to its address, which is a next.js, and code dot to open it on VS Code. And let's open a new terminal here. Use npm I to install the required package. Then npm run dev. I don't want this anymore, so let's close it. And my project will be on localhost port 3000. So this is my project, and while it is compiling, let's go and start. So in the first place I want to have a new branch, so let's click here and create a new branch from episode 5. This is episode 5. I want to create episode 6. That's it. So now I have episode 6, and that's it. Let's start. The first thing is I want to create a new page, and before it let's install the required libraries. So Ctrl C and clear. I want Swiper, so let's install it. npm I Swiper. And while it's installing, let's go to the components. Okay, it seems that it's installed. So let's go again, npm run dev, and let's create a new page. So let's go to the layout, main sections and main sidebar, and close this. So here I want to create a new one in complex. So I have this UL, I have whole scroll bar, tabs, and let's copy paste these tabs here and have another one with a slider, and its address would be /complex /slider. That's it, and this is it. So let's close it and create a new page. So inside of app and inside of complex I create a new folder named slider, and inside of this I will have a page.jsx, and let's say RAFCE to have it here, and this would be the new route of /complex/page. So if I click here and I don't have it yet, let's refresh, and in the meanwhile let's copy some classes from the tabs. For example, these is okay. You know what, let's copy all of them and then change them. So instead of this division, let's have this and delete tabs component, and here I want to have a slider component, and this is a slider tab. That's it. And let's change this to a slider page, and also this is a slider page, and format document. So if I go here to a slider, let's wait for it, and I have my slider page. So I want to create a new component here and use it here. So let's, inside of a slider, create a component. And inside of that, I want to have a new component, which name is, let's say, custom slider1.jsx. You can use any name you want. So let's use RFC here, and here use that custom slider, and that's it. So I think for this page it's okay, and let's close this and here work on this custom slider. And in order to creating our slider, we need to import some package from Swiper. So let's do this. Here I will import something from Swiper. And what I want from Swiper, I want to import the navigation and pagination, and also A11Y. We don't need all of them, but I will import them to have them here in our documentation. So after that, I want to import something else from Swiper /React. And from here, I want to use the component of Swiper and also component of Swiper slide. That's it. And we want to use them. Also, we need to use some CSS classes of Swiper. So let's import them. Import Swiper /CSS. Let's copy it and /CSS /navigation. So when you want to use a navigation or you want to use a pagination, I don't use the pagination here, but let's import them and have them here based on the documentation. So this is it. And this is all we need for this component here. And for this component, I want to use some external data. So let's have a URL for them. So const of URL equals to this address. You can use any address you want, or you can use local images, but I want to show you that this is the calling of an external API, getting the image from there, and also render them using the Swiper. So let's do this. This is my URL, and here I want to call them. So in order to getting a data, you know that we need to use a state. So instead of React, let's import the use state and use effect. And because I'm using this state, we need to have a use client here. So this would be a client component. That's it. So inside of my custom style, my custom slider, let's have a state. So let's say const of products and set products equals to a use a state of an empty array in the initial stage. Then let's have a function for calling the data. So, and here we can call them. So const of data equals to fetch function. And in this fetch function, we need an URL. So let's call the URL. And because the fetch is an async method, we need to use await. And here let's use async to make it work correctly. So after getting this data, we can simply say const of products equals to await of this data dot JSON, because this is a fetch and we need to make them a JSON object. After fetching, then we can simply set our products and use these products to work with them. And this is it. So this is the method of get product from backend. Let's minimize it. And after that, we need to use a use effect to call it after mounting. So this is a React concept, and I'm sure you know that. So we simply call the get products from backend in use effect. That's it. So let's continue and work with it. So let's open the console here. Refresh. So here I'm receiving all of them. And if I log the product. Here I need to use this product. Okay, you can see that I'm receiving them. It's an array. That's it. Okay, now it's refreshing, but not problem. I'm receiving these products. Okay, you can see that I'm receiving all of them, and each one has category, description, ID, image, price. I want to use this image. That's it. So let's continue, and inside of this division, I want to use an H1, simply call it as custom slider. One, this is it. And after that, let's have a BR to have some space. And then I want to use the swiper. So this is my swiper. And inside of that, I want to use some different items. So inside of this swiper, I want to have a loop on my data. So what is my data? My data is this product. So let's work on them. I simply say that products.map. And you know what? Because it's refreshing so many times, let's minimize this use. Let's comment this use effect for now and continue this. Then we will call them. So let's use a products.map for each one. I'm receiving an item. That's it. And for each item, I want to render a swiper slide. So I have some different slides, and this is it. So for it, you know that when we are mapping, we need to use a key with, here we have the item ID, that's it. And inside of this swiper, we can have another division here, and inside of that division, let's have some image. This image is coming from image next. And for this image, we can have an src, which is coming from item.image. And after that, we can have a width, let's say 150. And we can have a height, let's say 150 again. And we can have an alt with item dot title. That's it. So I think it's good for now. Let's uncomment this use effect and check it. Okay, let's wait for it and check everything to be sure that we don't have any error. Okay, says that invalid src prob on next image. Hostname fakestore.now is not configured on the image in your next config. This is a next.js problem. Let's check the source of it to see what's the error and how we can handle it. Okay, it says that why this error occurred. It says that one of your pages that leverage next image component passed an src value that is not defined. So you need to define this in next.config.js, and this is it. So let's copy this and use it in our file. I want to go to next config, which is this file. So here we are using this next config and exporting that. So instead of this object, let's copy paste that and format document. Okay, let's go back here and copy this src and work on it. So let's copy this. This is one of the URLs that has error. So we have a protocol which is HTTPS. Yes, that's it. For the host name is fakestoreapi.com. This is the host name. And for port, we don't have any port. We don't use it. And for the path name, you can see that it is /image /this ID. So we can simply use this /image. We can say that path name is /image /something. And let's format document again and refresh to see do we have any error again or not. Okay, I think we need to restart because we changed the next config. Yes, it is stopped our server. So npm run dev again, and let's close this. This must work now. And in the meanwhile, let's go here and work on our swiper. So in my swiper, I can have some different classes. For example, for this swiper slide, I can have class name, let's say bgr, red of 200, and a flex, and a justify of center, and align items of center. I want everything to be center. That's it. And we have error again. Okay, now you can see that I have that, and so good. Let's continue. So you can see that I'm receiving that, but it is not in the center. So for flex, I think using exclamation mark checks everything, and okay, now it's on the center, so good. So let's continue. For my swiper, I want to have some different changes. For example, it can have some modules. So for these modules, I can use the navigation and pagination and A11. So we imported all of them from swiper, and we can use them. And there are a lot of modules. You can use them here. So after these modules, I want to have a slide preview of 1, and then a space between would be 15. That's it. And I want to have some breakpoints for this. This is not that hard, but it's just received an object, and for being responsive, you can have multiple breakpoints. For example, here I can have 480, and for that I say your slide preview would be 2. Let's copy paste, and after that we use 740 and we use 3. Let's copy paste again. So you can see that for anything, for example, for this breakpoint, I can have 4 slides, and that's it. So after that, we have this product.map with items. We have a slider. That's good. And then we have a division here with an image. So for this division, let's use some class names. For example, border of 2 and a border of blue of 500. Let's have a rounded up LG for them, and also make sure to use overflow of hidden. And also let's have a width of, let's say, I want to use 200 pixel and a height of 300 pixel. You can use any value you want. I want to use these values. And also let's have a flex with justify of center and align items of center. That's it. So this is the class that I want to use. You can see that I'm inside of swiper slide. You can use any content you want, and it would be rendered here. That's it. So I think it is good. You can see that it is swiping, and so good. You can see that I'm swiping them with my mouse. It is working. Also, it is working right now, but we can have some custom buttons to slide next and slide preview. Let's do this. So in order to doing this, we need to create a new component and import it here. So inside of my components, let's create another one with a slide nav buttons.jsx. Let's use RFC here and import that. The important thing is it needs to be inside of this swiper. So if I minimize these products, you can see that inside of swiper, I import that. So I import my slide nav buttons. That's it, and its name has some problems. So a slider nav, again RFCE. Okay, Control C. Let's change them, and here I use this one, and this import must be a slider nav buttons. Good. This is it. So let's go here and implement them. I don't need this React. I want to import something from swiper / React, and I want to use a hook of use swiper. That's it. So this is the hook that allows us to work with the swiper. So let's use it. So const of swiper equals to use swiper. This is it. Now I have access to it. And inside of this return, I can have a division with class name of border 2 and a border gray of 200. width of feet, and a padding x of 2, and a padding y of 1. Rounded of x large is good. And also let's have a margin top of 4, so have some margin. And let's have a space x of 4 for the distance. So let's Control S. And inside of this division, you can see that it is here. And inside of this division, I want to have 2 buttons. So let's have a button for my preview. And for this button, I can have some class names. And also I can unclick. So for its class names, I want to use a simple class name like bg of blue of 300, and simple padding and a simple rounded of md. That's it. And on click, we need to call the swiper. So we call swiper dot slide prev. That's it. And this is the button. So let's copy this button again. And for the next one, I say slide next. And its text would be next. That's it. So let's wait for it, and it is refreshing. Let's refresh again and close the console. Okay, you can simply handle the state of loading here. I don't want to spend some time on it, but you know that you can work in here. For example, here you can have some state of loading and show some spinner here. I don't want to have time on it. So you can see that this is it, and it is working with my mouse. And also I have these buttons of prev, next, and it is working correctly. Also, let's check the responsive. And you can see that it is fully responsive. So good. Yes, you can see that you can see that because my images are not good and it is just an example, I'm using some static value, but you can change them because you need to have some images with equal width or equal height. It is a better idea to have some unique value for all of your image width and image height, but I don't have them, and it is no problem. It is just an example, but you can use any image with any width and height you want and create something you want. So in order to be sure that we implemented everything successfully, let's check it again. You can see that this BG red is the slider and this division is its content. So if you don't use this width and height, let's cut them and check the result. Okay, you can see that we are using flex. So let's cut flex and this. Okay, you can see that this is the way it is working. And if we delete this flex, because we are using flex there, I think the problem is solved. And okay, now you can see that it is getting all of the data it wants. So this is a standard way of implementing it, but you can see that my images are not equal on the size, and this is not good. So because of this, I'm using this flex, and also here I'm using this flex again to be sure that everything is good. And refresh. And this is it. Again, because of that, I'm using the width and height of this. So this is it. I think it is working correctly and it's responsive is okay, no problem. So this was for this episode, and I hope you enjoy it. So this was for this episode, and I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like this video and leave some comments for me and subscribe to my channel. Have a good time and goodbye.